So in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to set up multiple passes, which would be something you would commonly do in production. Now a pass would be, as an example, rendering the background here as visible to camera and having the nightstand only cast shadows but not be visible to camera, and then setting the inverse pass of that up, which would be making the nightstand visible and the background invisible to camera but casting shadows. So to start, we'll create our objects by layer name, and we'll name this PRP for props, and we'll go ahead and put our layer name in there, which is PRP, as you see over here. We'll shift click and drag and name this ENV for environment, and this time we'll open it up so we can ensure we get all the environment layers that we want to affect, highlighted in green. And then lastly, we'll do lights by layer name. We'll name this node lights, and we'll get our light layer. So we'll clear that and add it on over. We'll select these and just do a quick grid align. So now what we want to do is start building up our first pass. So we'll add our pass node, which the pass node has multiple pins, and those are there for specific setups that call for the order of the execution of the nodes plugged into it to be executed in a specific order, which is from the first pin down. In this case, we have a simple setup, so we're safe enough to plug them all into one pin. So we're going to need our props, our environment, and we need our lights for this pass. Now if we select this node and do a quick render, we'll have everything visible and rendering. Now we want to make our nightstand invisible, and we'll make this our environment pass. So now we need to add object properties so we can override the visibility. Now if you're holding X on the keyboard, you can insert it into the connection, and we'll name this invisible. And then what I'm going to do is copy and paste this and also add one into the environment objects, and you might be wondering why. And that's because I want to ensure the properties are being set on those nodes even though it's rendering correctly now. And what I mean by that is I want to make sure that they are visible to camera. Now for the props, we want those to be invisible. Now let's go back to the environment and do a quick render. And now we have our first pass set up. So now let's set up our prop pass, which would be the inverse of this. We can copy these nodes, and we'll paste them here and name this props. Now we want our prop to be visible. Visible. And we want our environment to be invisible. Now we can move these around to make it a little bit cleaner. And then we want to make sure we include our lights in this render as well. So with the props pass selected, we can do a quick render, and we have our setup. That's pretty much all you got to do to set up passes, and you'll see your graphs can quickly grow into multiple passes and dozens of passes, but the general setup will always work in this manner.